Prohibiting property taxes and Sharia law. It's September 8th, 2025, and these are your headlines. When Texas Republican primary voters head to the polls next year, they won't just be choosing candidates, no. They'll also be asked to weigh in on a series of ballot propositions that will help shape the party's direction heading into the next legislative session. The 10 propositions approved by the state Republican Executive Committee during their meeting in Corpus Christi this past weekend aren't binding. Instead, they're more like survey questions designed to gauge grassroots opinions on major issues. Voters are asked to mark yes if they agree with each proposition or no if they disagree. While the outcomes don't create law or amend the Constitution, they do send a signal to lawmakers about what the Republican base expects from its elected officials. In past cycles, the results of these ballot questions have been used to influence the party platform, guide the party priorities, and shape the debate inside the Capitol. Though the exact wording of the propositions hasn't been released yet, they will cover the following topics: ending magnets for illegal immigration, phasing out property taxes, imposing spending caps on governments, prohibiting vaccine discrimination in medical care, teaching K-12 students about life and fetal development, stopping the sexualization of children, establishing term limits for elected officials, investing in water infrastructure, banning Democrats from chairing legislative committees, and prohibiting Sharia law. These propositions will appear on the same ballot as state and federal races when early voting begins ahead of the March primary election. Election day, by the way, if you haven't marked your calendar already, is March 3rd, 2026. Speaking of the Republican primary, the Republican Party of Texas is taking its long-running fight over open primaries to court, raising the question of who should really decide party's nominees. Now, we talked on Friday about this lawsuit from the party, but what's the history of Texas's open primaries? Well, it dates back to the early 1900s, when the Terrell election law created state-run primaries to replace party conventions. Today, voters don't register by party. They simply pick which primary to vote in on Election Day, and that choice carries them into that party's runoff. So you can't vote in the Republican primary and then the Democrat runoff, for example. For years, Republican leaders have warned about crossover voting, where Democrats or independents have cast ballots in Republican primaries to sway the outcome. Party delegates responded by adopting rules to close the primaries, and this summer, the state GOP sued Texas, arguing that only registered Republicans should be allowed to select Republican nominees. Supporters of open primaries say the system boosts participation and keeps candidates accountable to more than just their base, but Republican leaders say that the right of association means the party, not the state, should decide who gets to vote in its elections. Now the future of Texas primaries may rest with the courts. Will the state stick with its century-old tradition or shift to a closed system in time for 2026 or 2028?
Do you feel increasingly isolated? Like the world has gone insane and you are part of one small, clear-headed remnant? Let me be the first to tell you, you're not alone. I'm Sarah Gonzalez, and on my new show, Come and Take It, I'm going to call out the crazy so you can be empowered to change Texas and the nation. Overcome the schemes of the left designed to keep Texans paralyzed and silent. Watch or listen to Come and Take It today.
Some Texas parents say their children aren't even getting Band-Aids at school because of confusion over a new state law. The law is Senate Bill 12, known as the Parental Bill of Rights. It was written by Senator Brandon Creighton and carried in the House by Jeff Leach. The measure requires parents to give annual permission before schools can perform medical or mental health exams. But after the law took effect, reports surfaced that some districts were taking an all-or-nothing approach, requiring parents to consent to every possible service or none at all. In some cases, that meant withholding Band-Aids or ice packs for minor injuries. Remember, this law is talking about major things, mental health, etc. Leach and Creighton sent a joint letter last week to Education Commissioner Mike Morath urging districts to use common sense. Vanessa Savage, president of Protect Texas Children, agreed, saying children's safety cannot be held hostage to paperwork delays. On social media, Representative Leach made it clear if a school can't tell the difference between handing out a Band-Aid and giving serious medical treatment, then we need to be a lot more concerned than we already were. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.